Look, I've been saying throughout the offseason, I don't think AB wants to play football anymore. And he's been doing a bunch of things in succession to keep screaming, I really don't want to play football. But that's my narrative. It's been my narrative. What do you all think, and Marcellus, start us off, what do you think this latest incident says about Antonio Brown?
I've been in the process, if you've been watching me, sitting at this table, starting to eat my crow in defense.
Man, you've been defending him the whole time.
Look, he's a little light in the pockets right now, maybe to the tune of $30 million because of this temper tantrum he threw. And I'm going to be a little light in the pockets because I'm returning a retainer for being his defense attorney for 8 damn months. This guy is full of himself. And that's something we throw around a lot, but we don't see it a lot. Like to this dose, to this level. When you are trying to play the ultimate team sport as an individual, and I've been on some teams with some divas, some Hall of Famers too that did it their way, but I've not seen it done this way, and it ever turns into success for not only the team, but even the player. Like to derail yourself this far off of what is central to what a team needs in terms of your performance and your personality is really defeating. So I'm sorry, Antonio Brown, but new evidence gives me new information, which gives me a new outlook towards what he's trying to do. And right now, I think he's a man lost.
He's not living in reality. That's just period. The crazy thing, though, when you look at the letter that Mike Mayock, sincerely, Mike Mayock, and so he was trying to let him know, I want to be friendly. Yeah. You got to understand, when you do what he did, the cryotherapy, you can't practice, the helmet fiasco, oh, we got that situated. Oh, now it's another problem with the helmet. When they came out and said either you all in or you all out, that he should have known right then and there, they not playing with me no more. And so for you, okay, you post, I don't know exactly what happened today. Did Mayock say something to him about posting it on his Instagram? Or did he say, I don't know how that happened, but you got to understand, they not playing with you no more. Live in reality. Understand this could be all wiped. This $30 million you got is all gone now. You got a family. You're going to regret this 5 years. Look at the guys before you. Look at T.O. They put him out the league. Probably could have played a couple more years. I played with Chad, who I believe was more talented than Antonio Brown. He only played 11 years because of learn from the people that came before you. He's not living in reality, and it's going to bite him in the butt, and he's going to regret it 4 to 5 years from now.
I'm going to take a tad bit of a different approach to this and a different angle. I think Mike Mayock and John Gruden have to do something that may or may not have happened in Pittsburgh. I think they have to take a step back and see Antonio Brown as a human. Okay?
Come on, bro.
Hold on now. Hold on,
bro.
Hold on. Okay, follow me here.
I think they're not seeing him as
hold on. I think I'm just being 100% honest. I deal with a lot of situations where people cry out for help in a lot of different ways, guys.
Yeah.
They cry out for help, and it doesn't matter how much money you're being paid. It doesn't matter how rich, how poor, what your racial background is. It does not matter. People have different ways of crying out for help, and when it's not addressed properly, and it's brushed and pushed into the wind, and it's only self agendas that are taking place, and that are. I'm just being honest.
LaVar.
I think this is a serious situation here.
We can be honest, but we can also be honest looking at things from the other direction in terms of, have you not seen people who cry out for help but reject all help?
Yes. Yes. And maybe that is what's taking place.
No. That's what's happening.
That is.
Yeah,
that's not a baby.
Come on,
They've been dealing with this all off season.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guarantee you they've tried. We've seen John Gruden basically get on his knees.
They supported him over a helmet for months and months and months.
They've been trying to help.
We're looking at it from a very surface standpoint. I think that what's going on with AB and what the episodes that are taking place and what we're seeing is something that may be far more serious than what we're able to experience from our vantage point.
Well, let's talk about it when you say crying out for help.
Sure.
What undermines that in this situation is what all parents know. when you're learning to rear your child that there are developmental stages. So you have to meet your child where they are instead of saying, hey, I'm trying to prepare you for this real world, but you're talking to a 3-year-old. Mm-hmm. Look, if you take a monster truck from my son, the world has just caved in on him. Mm-hmm. He's 3. When you look at Antonio Brown, who went from a 6th-round draft choice, who was understated, who now has turned into this guy, guess what? We have watched you through the developmental stages. And where you are right now is not the time to cry out for help, because if you were really seeking help, that would have been in other desperate times.
The problem with your statement is 6th-round pick. Went to a small college. Maybe he's been crying out for help, and maybe that situation has been escalating, and it did not matter until he got to a point of where he was making the type of money that he was making, to where he was getting the type of attention that he's been receiving.
LaVar, the only thing, and I get it, because AB definitely needs help.
Yeah, we know that.
But John Gruden and Mike Mayock and the Oakland Raiders can't stop what they're doing right now to give it to him.
But they've invested in him. He's their largest investment. If it's me, and I'm just speaking
that
for me.
That investment is done.
You got to take, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Sometimes when you invest, you got to say, I got to cut
your
my
losses. And
I got to cut my losses. I got to get from out under
And that may very well be what it is.
Derek Carr is their largest investment, not Antonio Brown. I'm talking dollars here.
Okay,
I'm talking dollars here.
Look, AB has been, in my view, I've been saying this for a long time as well. Ever since I read Jesse Washington's story more than a year ago for The Undefeated, his addiction to Instagram, his addiction to social media, his constant need to perform and do things for retweets, likes, follows. I'm seeing a lot of young people's whose brains have been hacked. If you watch 60 Minutes, if you really follow the news, they've been writing, talking about exposing what these smartphones are doing to people. And we're looking at a guy that's a prime example of this thing going haywire. Everything AB does is a staged performance.
It's based off of self-worth. It's a lack. He has a lack of self-worth and a lack of self-identity. We may look at him
He will
and say,
completely disagree with you.
And that's fine, because I don't think he even knows. And I think that's what makes this even more important, that we look at it from a different perspective and a different lens. It's easy to condemn him.
Maybe I'm wrong. When anybody has a problem, it's, he needs help with this. This is just who he is. He got away with it for so long that he thinks it's okay. Like, we can't, every time something happens, he needs this. He needs help. He got away with it in Pittsburgh for so long that you think wherever I go, because I can play and I'm a baller, I can continue to get away with it, and you know that's how it works.
But he was not the main guy for a lot of years in Pittsburgh. He was like the 3rd guy at one point.
How many years did he play in Pittsburgh?
A couple years.
He was the main guy in Pittsburgh for 7 years. Yeah, that's a long time.
That's after the fact.
It was enabled in Pittsburgh. They've created Frankenstein. Again, I go back to go read the story, because this isn't just football. He's having problems interacting with other human beings. It's throughout his life. It's pervasive. And at some point, you can't blame Mike Tomlin. You can't blame John Gruden. You can't blame Mike Mayock, Ben Roethlisberger. This is on AB. He's 31 years old. He accepted the responsibility of being a franchise player in Pittsburgh and Oakland. He can't live up to the responsibilities. That's on him.
I don't look at it as a blame.
Well, I do, actually. I do. You got to take some of the blame when you're a professional. Look, every coach I ever played for always would tell us that being in the NFL is not a birthright. It's a privilege. And when your privileges all of a sudden in your mind become norm, it's a privilege. This is of luxury to have this existence. When you start to think that's norm, now you're out of touch. You're out of reality, and you won't act the same because you think this is what comes with the territory. You have to earn this. It is not the place of the NFL or organization for it all of a sudden to say, pause on what we're doing here in terms of football to now fix all of your personal issues when we expect you to either use our resources to fix those issues or be able to compartmentalize, handle football, and let's handle that together. When you want to prioritize you over what we're here to do, now you're out of touch.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.